Alright, what is up, guys? Kiefer with Try-S here.
No, Try-S.
Hey, I'm Charlie with Try-S. Welcome back to our bi-weekly series called Talk to Try-S, where we update you bi-weekly on the bi-weekly stuff that's going on with Try-S. Let's roll the intro.
Alright, now that that intro has been rolled, glad you guys, hopefully you guys like that intro. It's been a long time since we've done this. This series that's supposed to come out every 2 weeks, so...
what am I saying?
But this is episode 5, so let's do it. Look, now that we're done with Survivors,
there's more episodes of Survivors than there are of a talk show.
That's kind of bad. That is really bad. So yeah, now that Survivor's is all done though, we are going to get back into doing Talks Try-S and a lot of other things. So look, here's what we're going to do. In this episode, because Survivors was such a journey for us, it's all done. You guys can see it now on YouTube and the Try-S Productions channel.
The same channel you're watching this on, unless we've been hacked.
Which we almost were.
We were.
And if you're watching this, I am not a fan of you.
I will find you. And I will. Ask you politely to never do that again, because that was really rude.
It was really rude. It actually really hurt my feelings. Like, who's trying to
We
hack
had to
this
change
beautiful
the
channel?
password.
Hello!
Did you eat the rest of those tortilla chips?
Yes ma'am, I did.
Alright, well, welcome back from the part we had to cut in because we were interrupted.
Rudely interrupted by my,
This is off to a smooth start.
So,
let's get to the topic.
So here's what we're doing, okay? What we're doing today is we're gonna reflect back on Survivors, and we're going to talk about our experience with it, and talk about what it was like at the theater, and what we think of the final product, our honest thoughts. And I hate to say this, but this is actually going to contain spoilers for the entire show. So if you haven't seen the show yet, I highly recommend going to go watch it, and then come back to this episode. Are you okay?
Yes.
And then come back to this episode, and watch what we thought. So, you know what? I'm just gonna say really quick. I'll kick it off. And this just isn't gonna work, dude. This foot is your legs on me, and it's. Alex didn't like that too, but compromise is
It's a nightmare.
So, anyways, essentially with me, right? I was the creator of Survivors, and I wrote it, directed it, and it's been this thing started in it, and it's been this thing that's been a process for
4 years.
4 to 5 years. Well, 5 years now with the release date, so 5 years, and that's a very long time. And so, as you guys might know, we got to premiere it at a local theater near us.
We were there.
Hello.
Hey.
Thank you for coming. By the way,
Special
that
shout
meant a
out.
lot.
You're a cool person.
No, but it
You gotta
was
buy a t-shirt.
it was honestly surreal. It was surreal because it was 171 seats, all filled up, and the crowd loved it. Do you guys want to say anything about that?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously you could kind of come from the angle of like, well, oh, of course they're gonna love it because the people you know, and they're not gonna be in the crowd like, yo, suck. But it was really cool to have people out there. Even though we knew them, and obviously that kind of does change the dynamic a little bit. We sat in the very front seats, so that we could give the better viewing seats to all the people that came in and paid to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But so we could hear kind of their reactions. But genuinely, I think that they had a really good time. Everyone I've talked to has said they really enjoyed it, and it was really awesome to see your work up there on a big screen and kind of hear everyone behind you and like audibly enjoying it. I thought was really cool, and that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, all the jokes hit, all the parts where it was supposed to be very, like, oh my god, like that, like all those hit. The reactions were on point, and honestly, like, there's not really much more to say about it. It's just, it was honestly just, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And especially that it looked that good up on the theater, and it looked like it belonged there. I know the aspect ratio had some issues because it's not a regular formatted movie. But aside from that, is it just failing? Aside from that, though, it was pretty well. So this sick boy has been coughing and sneezing all about.
I think we're sitting nice and close to him.
Oh God, framing is everything. No, all right, go ahead and you give your 2 cents on seeing it in the theater.
That was a very welcome surprise to see how many people would actually come here. I'd estimated around like 100. I did not expect us to fill up in any way whatsoever. I knew we'd have our family members come. Well, we had kids that we didn't even know knew about the film. And we advertised the hell out of it the last 2 days before it came out. And so we posted all of our
Social media.
social media, Snapchat, Instagram, that kind of deal. And
Facebook even for your old timers.
for your old timers. And honestly, we had to give a big thanks to everyone who shared that message that we put out and shared it to even more people, because that meant that this is just a large circle of people that actually knew to come there.
Yeah, to all the people that came out, I don't think we said it really. Maybe we might have said it already, but I think we should say it again. Just thank you so much for coming out. Like, even if you heard about it the night before and then just got dragged along by your friends to come see it, you got to be a part of it, and that was awesome. And so
Right.
we just want to, from the bottom of our hearts, like that sounds really cheesy. Thank you so much, because to you this might just have been seeing a movie with your friends, but to us this is a huge, long, expensive journey we've been on.
So, speaking of expenses, how did you talk about the profits that we made from that?
Yeah, I don't want to get into money too much, because we didn't do this to
But that's kind of a big deal, because of the fact that now that we know we can profit from these movies, that means
we
can
didn't profit though. That's the problem, is we really didn't, because if you look at the cost of the camera and stuff and paying for
I'm
the
gonna
theater.
cut this.
And we're back. Sorry, we cut that out because we thought it'd be rude to talk amongst ourselves about money in front of you, because that's inconsiderate.
But anyway, to go to the point that I was trying to get to, basically, with this amount of success that we had with this film, that leads to us being able to say, hey, we can put other stuff in the theater, we can get other people to come and enjoy our films. So it gives us motivation, it gives us inspiration in order to create new films to put in the theater, now that we know that we can actually succeed from it.
And I think the point that Noah was trying to get at, like, we're not trying to be like, oh my god, we made so much money, we want to share that with you guys. It's not about that. I get what he's trying to say.
It's more of a way to measure your success.
Right, and what he's trying to say is that essentially that this opens up the door. Like, I'm not gonna go into prices, but putting that in the theater was not. It was a lot of paychecks. Let's just say, it wasn't some cheap thing to just have done, but it was an event. It was a special event, and to say that we made back the money is an understatement. And so essentially what he's trying to say is that this actually opens up the door to even have more films in theaters if it calls for it. Obviously short films and stuff we'll just keep around the channel. But if someday we ever decide to make another feature, and I'm just gonna say what everyone else is thinking in the production that they don't have the balls to say. By the end of this project, a lot of people were just drained. They're drained in everything. They're drained in money. They're drained
Two
in
of us
life.
here specifically.
Yeah, these two kids right here, we were together with the editing process, doing special effects and cutting together clips and sound mixing,
So
sound
many hours.
editing, music editing,
So many hours.
color correction, every single thing you can imagine, we spent time doing, and it was painful to say the least. I mean, but it was worth it in the end, and we were happy to do it because we made this great product.
And at the end of the day, I think even after those really rough, long nights where, you're leaving my house at 1 or 2 a.m.,
Mhm.
I think that at the end of it, it's like, oh my god, that was so much work. We did get a lot done. It was tough, but at the end of the day, you're like, I love making films. I love doing this, and as much as it does suck, and it doesn't take away entirely from how draining it is,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, you're still like, all right, sick. We did a thing, and we like doing this, and it was cool.
Right, and another thing too is I feel like Survivors opens up the door so much because you see the end product and you're like, wow, that was so painful. It opens up the door to be like, well, maybe we don't just want to do short films. Maybe we actually do want to do another feature. And of course, that is things that we need to discuss behind closed doors.
And that's actually why we're here today. That's
Right.
literally the reason we are here is
But-
to discuss.
Right,
Off camera,
we're missing
or
two of the members, so we're gonna wait for that, so that way we don't have a situation in which we just like, oh yeah, we're making this, and then these two kids are like, what?
Right.
So we'll discuss our ideas and share our ideas and such. But overall, this is kind of leading into that. What do you guys actually think about the actual final product? Even if you thought that it was like, dude, that turned out like shit. Be honest. We're gonna be honest here. They've seen it. They have their own opinion. Film is subjective. If you hated the show, I know like 1 or 2 people that actually did kind of hate it and weren't huge fans. And I get it. And I'm not gonna be like, you know what, screw you then. No, it's not like that at all. I get it. So what did you think of the final product? Honest opinions.
All right. Now, I kind of have a biased opinion, as I think you do as well, because we sat there for all that time, and when you're, meticulously laying clips together end to end, and you're just trimming off little pieces for hours, and you get to see, you you experience each scene in a different way, right? If there's a 5-second scene that the audience sees, they see it for 5 seconds and then it's over. So no matter how cringy, like
that's a good point,
if there's like cringy stuff that the audience is experiencing, right? It's like, oh, like that scene, like they're probably, they see it. If it's like, wow, there's a huge problem, like one of our big things, continuity error. So it's like, oh, his shirt just changed. But that's on screen for maybe 4 seconds. For an editor and someone who's in that post room working hard on it, you're not seeing it for 4 seconds. You're seeing it over and over.
And it's painful. It's like, get out of my face.
You're watching through it every single time. And if it's a scene where you're doing like special effects or you're doing some special audio work or any sort of more advanced editing on that one scene or that one shot, you see it over and over and it just drives you insane. So I think we have to, I'm going to try to put that out of my mind when I give my opinion here. Because I want to come at it more of as a wholesome experience, not as just being an editor.
Right. And before you say anything else, I do want to say this really quick. Also, another thing, audience reactions, I've come to realize, not drastically, but it does affect your opinion a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
If everyone in that theater was like, you're going to start to feel like...
Yeah, we didn't make that great of a thing.
Right. And then, but once everyone did like it, you're like, you know what? We did make a damn good film. Mm-hmm. And personally, I think we did, but we'll get into that.
And you don't want everyone's opinion to validate your own. You want to be able to generate your own, but everyone else's certainly has an effect on it.
Right. I'm going to check and make sure it's still going and stuff.
Okay.
Just go.
See, we have paranoia problems because tech...
It's happened before.
Just does not work.
Go ahead.
I'm going to check how long we've been going here. This is very unprofessional.
11 minutes and 30 seconds.
There you go. So...
Should have said that.
What I'll say is, I really, really enjoyed it. That experience sitting there in the theater, listening to people's reactions, watching all of our hard work was really kind of humbling in a way. Mm-hmm. And it was just super cool, and it was really surreal is kind of what I'm looking for. You're sitting there like, oh my god, we did this. We did a thing. I said it earlier, but we really did something and put it together, and this panned out, and we didn't fall through on our promise, except for like the release date thing, which got pushed back.
The release date got pushed back a bunch, but I mean, it was obviously clearly worth it in the end. Clearly.
Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with Survivors because I spent so much time on it, and there were so many times where I was just really at the end of my bearing, kind of, and was just ready to quit, and just I hated some of it, but at the end of the day, I loved the final product. It was awesome to make it. I got to, even the tough stuff, you kind of grow through that tough stuff. And you can really see it through all the episodes and how they improve. I think they get better every time. And you can see us grow as filmmakers, and that alone, I love to watch. I like to watch through the sequence and be like, wow, this shot was terrible, and then get to episode 6, and you're like, yeah, we didn't even have to think about that shot. It was just the one we knew we were going to make.
Right.
And I absolutely loved seeing how we grew, and I really do love Survivors for as much crap as I have talked about it, and the frustrations and stuff. I can put that out of my mind now that we're done with it and really say it was awesome to see. I'm really glad we put the time into making it. And I'm not sure I'm ready to jump into another feature film immediately and like engulf myself in the entire workload of that.
Right.
But, seeing a big, long production like that you put together and made is really cool. So, yeah, I loved Survivors. I really thought it was awesome, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it too, because, I put a lot of damn work into that.
That was damn well said. I actually really like that.
Thank you.
Well said, my friend. Well said. All right, go ahead, Noah. Your thoughts. Try to one that shit up right there.
I'll try my very best. I'm gonna try and describe this as sort of like a graph of my relationship with Survivors. At the very beginning, I was in a ton of hype for it, and we had a very good first day of filming. So I was like, oh god damn, sorry, can I?
Except for the police car.
You can swear as much as you want.
Okay.
Swearing, spoilers, it's all here. It's all fucking here.
I was like a tip right here. I was like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. And then it slowly ground down as we had bad day after bad day with actors who didn't care. We had stuff going on where we would have days spent 4 hours, got one shot done. Because we would sometimes used to be very
Sometimes you're just done with it. Sometimes you just show up to a shoot and you're like, I don't want to.
Even I'll be there. And I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm going to let you keep going. But I mean, for me, it was a lot of weight on my shoulders, and not trying to make this all about me, but I mean, like, it was a lot of weight on my shoulders having to be that guy who not only did the scheduling and was like, hey, everyone come over on this day. When I'm sitting there texting this, I'm like, I don't want to send this because I don't want to do this either. But I'm like, no, we have to get it done. It's going to be worth it in the end. And all the actors that didn't get to make it to the theater, and even the ones that did, were like, I didn't just enjoy it, I loved it. Like, they were in love with the final product, and they're like, dude.
Because they only got to see their scene.
Yeah,
right. And
they're like, if
that
you ever
was-
make
that
a
was kind
sequel.
of interesting because there's so much of the time where they're sitting there on set, I think we talked about it before, where they're like bitching about it. And understandably, 100% understandably.
When you're covered in like really gross like corn syrup blood with a ton of makeup on, usually like sometimes without shoes and torn clothes that also have blood on it, it's very hard to have any fun, especially if other people are fooling around.
Right, so it's really hard for like the main actors who are just goofing around, like pretending to shoot each other with like airsoft guns. I don't want to make it sound like it was that unprofessional because it 99% of the time wasn't, but we have had more freedom sometimes, and
The bitching would come from those times.
it was very apparent, and it was the entire time we understood it.
We'd have a lot of actors just leave. Like, literally, they would just leave, and it wasn't like some big thing.
I don't
they just
blame them for
would
it.
walk in, take off their costume, and just head out. Wouldn't say anything. And like I said, like, obviously it's frustrating in the moment, but you take even just a second to think about it, and you're like, I get it. I get it. I thank you even for coming to begin with. So,
Anyway, to continue, so as we had bad days, it went down and went down, and there was a stint of time where we had nothing going on for Survivors. Nothing happened. It was almost like a
kind of like stagnated for a little bit.
yeah, like a 2-month period
Yeah, I think it was
almost.
more
Where
than a
just-
month.
yeah.
I didn't see the editing was
There
still
was
happening,
actually
but there wasn't any
editing.
active filming.
There was nothing
Yeah,
active
yeah.
happening, and it was constant. Like, hey, we have like 3 more scenes to film. Hey, we have like 2.5 more scenes to film. Hey, I just added something, so we need 3 more scenes to film.
right.
And with nothing would get done. So
And
that was
also
like my
the thing
lowest.
is, all the time, because we're getting down to crunch time, and we're like, oh, we don't have some of this stuff filmed, and you're making edits on the fly, and then that, it's like, oh, okay, we can take out this big major sequence, but then it's like, now we gotta add all these 4 other small scenes we gotta film now.
Right.
So whenever you take something out, you're adding stuff in, and it's like, it's kind of this perpetual cycle where you feel like we're not making any progress, no matter what we do.
No, that's perfect, yeah. But then as we finally had everything done, that's when I was like, oh my god, this is actually happening. It's actually going to work out. Because I've been, I think I was in here since pretty much, not the beginning of when you started writing it, but the beginning of when it was filmed.
The
So I've
beginning of
been-
when it's filmed, for sure.
I've been at almost every single shoot. Every single
Mhm.
one. And 90% of the time I would actually be a zombie actor within that. And so I had a lot of involvement.
You
in
die
this.
a lot.
I die a lot.
9 times,
9
actually.
times.
9 times.
So that was fun. But anyway, but I had a ton of fun with the film. I was one of the very few zombies that actually enjoyed being a zombie. So that was very helpful to them, I believe, because I was actually willing to do
A
stuff.
fearless leader.
Right.
Fearless leader. But no, towards the end of it, I had a ton of fun with Survivors. I was very happy with the results. I was very surprised with the results too. Like, as I said, I thought only not a couple hundred, 100 people would be there, but it definitely exceeded my expectations. And watching it again was super fun. The audience reacted to exactly what I thought they were going to react to in the perfect way. And so we accomplished everything that we were trying to go for, which is perfect for a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Especially being made by high schoolers who have a shoestring budget.
And so, now on to me. I want to say really quick that the fact that Survivors is even relatively good is an accomplishment, and I'll tell you why. Survivors as an entire thing was a huge risk. No budget, made by high schoolers. And also, let me say this right now. When we first started filming this, a lot of us, actually all of us, were not 17 years old, which meant that we were under the age of permitted R-rated viewers, but we were making an R-rated film. And that by itself is very, 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 very difficult to get parents on your side with it, because as a whole production, you get a little nervous in the theater when you're about to say an F-bomb, you hear it coming, you're like, it's about to happen, and you're like,
Or a
my
very
parents just-
gory scene.
Or a
And-
very
and
gory scene.
I think that went across really well. I didn't have any problems with it.
It went across very
I think
well
Everyone
because-
understood it and was like, I think it held up to its own. It held maturity.
Well, exactly. We crafted it. We
He's picking his pants apart.
No, we. Oh my god, that was so great. Anyways. Okay. What I was gonna say is that I purposely went about the filmmaking of being like, we can't be too gory, but we need to be honest to the world. We need to be honest to the entire world.
You need to be honest to the story as well.
Right, which is why you have, one of the reasons it's rated R in the description is dark themes and elements, because a lot of the time it's just what's happening that's making it rated R. You don't necessarily need to see someone get stabbed. You don't necessarily need to see the blood fly out of them. It's just the fact that this is even happening at all, and the fact that it's even heightened more because it's filmed by teens and involves teenage characters.
It gets into some pretty deep stuff.
Yeah.
As far as like what it's like, it's in a way it's kind of a coming of age story.
Yeah.
Because it's like it takes young people thrown into really tough real world situations, and I think that having that gritty, gory kind of feel with some of the really dark themes and some of the really gory action scenes, I think that really helps it stay true to itself.
Right. And there's two more things that I want to hit, and then I'm pretty sure we can wrap this up and you guys are cool with that.
I want to finish on one point and we can have it.
Yeah. I will just say really quick that another thing that I've been told, which is really, really great, because Survivors, in my opinion, is a slow burner. It's fast paced, but you don't have a whole lot of action. It's mainly talking and dialogue, and by B or C actors. So I mean, it's like the fact that it's that enthralling is great. But I've been told a lot that it's actually very what's the word? It's very rewatchable. Because you have stuff at the very end, it's revealed in the credits that John and Blake are brothers. It's like, holy shit, I can go back through the entire show and watch it with a completely different eye now. And you have a lot of things to pick up on, and which is why I'm currently doing the What You Missed in Survivor series. That'll be out sometime here soon, which is going to be really cool, and you're going to get to see a lot of behind the scenes and what we were thinking in there. And then the final thing I want to mark on really, really, really quick. I want to answer a question that I've been getting all the way around. This is going to be a big blue ball, but it'll hopefully not be some definitive thing that will get you hyped or disappointed. I've been asked a million times, is there going to be a sequel? This is what I'm going to say. There was a sequel. That got canceled.
There's no season 2 per se.
There might be a sequel, but this is what it depends on. If there's a story to be told, we'll get back to you on that.
All right. Well, first I want to say, do you want to say anything? Because you haven't talked very much.
No,
I mean, you want anything you want to say? Closing remarks? Anything about Survivors? Finally wrapping it up.
You want to admit to them that we're holding you hostage here and that you actually can't leave and we're going to make you run all the stuff.
I hate Survivors. I hate Survivors.
You just see a little red dot spot on his head? All right, go ahead.
All right. Well, the one thing I just want to say is kind of tie in earlier when I mentioned the kind of watching us grow as filmmakers. I've really kind of found my niche when it comes. I basically said sheesh.
I just like that word. Yeah, go on.
Sheesh. But when it comes to making films, I love low budget filmmaking.
Oh yeah.
And
it's got a magic.
Because I have no interest in going into film production like some of us here do. I really want this to stay as a hobby throughout my life. No matter what I'm filming, I really like the idea of low budget filmmaking where it's like, all right, what's our budget? It's like, no, I got $12 in my pocket and we have a camera and an idea, and it's like, well, we really got to make sure that idea is solid and we know what we're doing outside of that, and we can, there's certain points where it's like, yeah, hey, we're going to people and we're like, hey, can we borrow this? Like, is there any way we could, oh, you have a dirt bike? Sweet, let's put that in a scene.
Yeah,
it's just on the fly stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of my favorite part about it, is how unplanned things can be, where it's like, we're going one way with it and it's like, that's not working, we can't get this to work, and it's like, all right, well, we got to come up with an on-the-spot solution for $0 to make this work, and it really allows for a lot of creative things to come into play. Yes.
If I can make a remark, I don't think we've spent any money on any video we have on a Trias, right?
We spent money on that.
Wait, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean?
Well, no, let's say like home or something like that. We just used everything that we had, right? We didn't spend any money.
Home was actually completely free. The home was free.
I mean, we spent money on this, but it wasn't like inordinate amounts.
Well, I honestly, no. Survivors did get pretty expensive.
What you paying for
Well, no,
a
I'm
camera?
talking about, not talking about Survivor. I'm talking about the other videos.
The other videos were decently free. Yeah.
$0. Like,
yeah.
Every once in a while, it's like, all right, we have to go buy this one prop, or like, all right, I'll go buy a thing of corn syrup to make blood. But outside of that,
And-
I wouldn't say free. I would say each video is less than $25.
I Loved You was free, right? Wasn't
Yes.
I Loved You free? Yeah,
I bought that
free.
jacket online not online, at Goodwill for $6.
$6 movie.
$6.
That was where you got that jacket from?
Goodwill.
You've worn that in Survivors. You've worn that in I Love You. You wear it all the time in real life. That's a
Different
damn fine jacket.
No, you're thinking of a different jacket. The Patagonia one I have is a very expensive jacket.
I was gonna say, how is that?
No, I ordered a
okay,
different jacket.
all right, my
Go
bad.
watch I Loved You, compare the jackets, free views.
I didn't make it. It's not good. That was a joke. That was
It's on your channel. You gotta promote it.
Exactly. No, it's good. It's good.
It's
Go
a
watch it.
paid promotion. But yeah, I just really want to say that I love low budget filmmaking, and I look forward to doing some more stuff this summer and through the next year. And yeah, it's awesome, and that's kind of where I've found my home in movies.
Well, I'm glad that you found your home.
Please zoom in on this.
Did you get my reference, by the way?
Yes, I
Yeah,
have.
home. Anyways,
Go watch Home on Survive. Trias Productions.
Oh my god. Anyways, what I was gonna
Go watch
say,
Home
what I
on
was gonna,
Survivors.
what I was gonna say is this, okay? Just to top it all completely
Oh,
off.
hey,
the
ask
natural
them if they
chair on
want a
top.
podcast.
No. You're
No?
gonna podcast anyways. No,
Why
so,
would they make this into a podcast? They don't have to see our ugly faces all the time.
Right, exactly. It's better than Talks to Try Us. So what we're gonna do is this, okay? On the next Talks to Try Us, we're gonna get back to you guys with an update of upcoming films. We'll tell you guys all the upcoming films that you could look forward to. Probably have some trailers coming out because I like making trailers. So why not?
Yeah, they probably noticed at this point. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have anything else you want to say real quick?
No.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Actually,
Yeah,
just
okay.
subscribe for
Yeah.
the love of God.
We have
So if
91
you
of
want to
you.
subscribe.
Add more.
Yeah, just share this
Go
around.
up. We want
YouTube
plus,
is gonna
not
shut
minus.
down our channel unless we get to 100 in the next 2 weeks.
The adpocalypse is really hurting.
This channel that we never get any ads on. To see you guys.
Yeah,
Wait,
we're
wait,
gonna put
no.
like-
Okay.
we're gonna put a
Also,
really
don't
clickbait title.
just. Yeah. Get this close-up guest shot. All right. Don't quit on Triash just because Survivor's over. It was our big project. I know it was kind of the coup de grace.
we have another big project coming. It's okay.
The tour de force.
Tour de force.
Stay tuned. We got lots of good stuff coming your way. So yeah.
And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, there may be a sequel. Maybe. Probably not. Probably. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Bye. See ya.
All right. Bye.
Now we will roll the intro. Alright, the intro has not been rolled. Guys, we haven't done this in a while, so this is a bit odd.
Hey guys, welcome back to our bi-weekly series where we bi-weekly update you on the production of bi-weekly.
So, holy shit, okay. That can't stay. Hold on. Alright, we're gonna start.